It's progress on our agenda. We believe that our strategy is the right one, but it is a strategy for the very long term. The idea is to be balanced between a consumer business and a wholesale business, to be balanced between the UK and the US and a global platform elsewhere. So we like the diversification of our portfolio of businesses. We like the simplicity of Barclays UK and Barclays International. So we'd say it was a pretty good year for us in 2016.
Now, you've talked today about hiring staff in locations such as Frankfurt and Dublin to try and future-proof the bank against Brexit. Is that going to be at the detriment of London?
What I said, and I think it got a little bit misinterpreted, what I said is we employ people in Frankfurt today. We employ people in Paris today. We employ people in Milan today. So we have a footprint in continental Europe today. We have a very large credit card business in Hamburg, Germany, and we have a bank subsidiary in Ireland. So we have a presence in Europe. Let's see how the Brexit negotiations unfold. I think we'll have to make some tactical shifts depending upon whether the single market continues or not. But as I've been saying all along, I do believe that London will remain the principal financial market for Europe even post-Brexit.
But is it fair to say you'll resign to the loss of passporting rights?
We are looking at contingencies that will allow us to continue to do the business we do today in Europe, even if we lose passporting rights. So sure, we have to look at that possibility and invest accordingly.
Why are you so confident that London is going to remain the premier destination for banking within Europe?
It is very difficult to replicate in any period of time the overall ecosystem that you find in London. From mutual funds to pension funds to insurance companies to hedge funds, so much of that, so much of their capital is managed through a presence in the United Kingdom. The legal architecture around the financial markets that you find in the UK, it's just very hard to move that in any period of time. And then it's just a belief that I have that the users of capital will find the providers of capital, and that the G20 has been very consistent since the financial crisis. That they've all agreed that no one will create barriers to the free flow of capital. That would be a wall that would not benefit anybody. And so it's a belief I have that at the end of the day, there might be some tactical changes that need to be made, but fundamentally, Europe will not cut itself off from the capital that's available in the United Kingdom.
Now, as you say, one of the big things that you've done here, you've more or less completed the restructuring, the non-core assets have been sold off. Isn't one of the challenges for you, though, that underlying revenue growth is actually lower year on year? Is it going to be much harder to grow this business in the future?
The number that I would look at is the core income number for Barclays. So take out the non-core business that we're closing in June. The core business of Barclays UK, Barclays International, our credit card business, our retail banking business, the wealth management business, all that collectively, revenues or income was actually up 6% in 2016 versus 2015. That's one of the better performances of large financial institutions in the world. And I think underscores that there are a number of our businesses that have very good organic growth potential right now. So we actually grew our revenues this year, and we hope that portends the ability to continue to grow revenues in the next couple of years.
Now, one of the big clouds on the horizon for you still is the fact that you've got this issue with the US Justice Department over the mis-selling of mortgage-backed securities prior to the financial crisis. You more or less said you'll see them in court. What progress is there to report on that?
Well, I think what you saw is we failed to reach a settlement agreement with the Department of Justice at the end of last year. So they filed their lawsuit against us. This is a long process. We have to file what's called a summary judgment. This will take quite a period of time, so no real prediction on when this will be resolved one way or another. Obviously, we would still like to settle this case with the Department of Justice, but we're not going to speculate on ultimately the timing nor how this is ultimately resolved.
Now, clearly it's been a very good year for your investment banking division. Do you anticipate there being a lot of furore over bankers' bonuses this year?
For the third year in a row, our investment banking revenues were up. and our bonus pool in investment banking was down. So we recognize our obligation to our shareholders, and we are managing our business to try to deliver better investment performance than we have previously. But we do have to pay competitively, and so we keep an eye on that. But this year, whilst our numbers were good in terms of the top line revenue, we did slightly decrease the bonus pool.